Hey guys, Joe Madden here, the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. I'm joined this morning by Tony George of Doc Sports. Tony, how's the morning treated you so far?
So far, so good. Got a big day on deck. Fired up about a bunch of sports today. So, been at it since 4 a.m. Vegas time. It's the usual per se. Get up, get early bird gets a worm deal, and fired up about being on your show. I've been an admirer from afar. Good content. Listen to your show. I know Scott Spreitzer was on yesterday, one of Doc's guys, and
Yep.
I tuned in and checked that out. And great show, and you're blowing up. So I'm glad you had me on. Feather in my cap.
Well, I appreciate you being here so much. You guys, we're going to talk some NBA, some MLB today. But before we get started, Tony, I want to hear how you got started in this industry.
Well, I hate to age myself any more than I have to, but I got involved in 1992. I grew up in a small town in Nebraska. I'm a LA born guy, but I grew up in Nebraska in a town of about 3,500 people. And there was a guy that ran a pool hall that was the local bookie.
Okay.
And he wanted somebody to run sheets around to all the local businesses, which was basically a 4-block radius, including my dad's body shop where my dad worked and was the mayor of the town. I even delivered them to the police station.
No way.
So the police could get their sheets. And then I'd pick them up on, then I'd go pick up envelopes on Tuesday. And I noticed whoever had the fattest envelope, which happened to be the local pharmacist, I'd pick up their bets, on Friday night or Saturday morning and run them in. And the guy with the thickest envelope every Tuesday, I'd hold back a couple of bets and fade the squares a little bit and kind of got a taste for it. And nonetheless, always had a knack for picking them, and came out to Vegas in 1992 on a golf junket and got into just by happenstance, got into a tournament down at the Horseshoe, a season-long, kind of pick 'em NFL thing. This is before the Super Contest and the Circa Millions. Yep. And, before cell phones. And nonetheless, I won the damn thing. And a couple of guys came up to me. I came out to get the prize money, and they said, we'll give you money for your picks next year. So I set up an announcement mailbox and just voice recorded my picks for the week, and they were paying me like $400 each for the season. I had a bunch of guys, and that's how I got involved in the sports betting business. And then I won that when I won that and then I won another contest out here, or placed real high in a contest, didn't win it, at I believe it was the Nugget. And they told me to go over to the Stardust and the Sports Line Stardust. They had a radio studio in the sports book there. And Jim Kelly and Andy Ioski were hosting that show, and they interviewed me. And the next about winning the contest, I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska. It's where I live. And, I can't believe I did this. And I got this little thing I do on the side. And I got a number they can call to get hooked up. And when I got home from that trip to Vegas, I got a call from a guy. He said, "My name's Kobe Mack, and I run the local radio station. We're an ESPN affiliate. And would you come on Friday mornings and do Stone Cold Locks with Bill Dolman on his radio show?" Now, Bill Dolman ended up being play-by-play guy for ESPN, Big 12 basketball, went on to host the Mountain West Television Network before it went defunct. And now he's an announcer for NBC on the Olympics and other things. And I'd go on for 5 or 10 minutes on Friday mornings and say, take the Jets -3, and this is why. And
yeah.
On local radio, and it turned into me co-hosting the Average Joe Sports Show on that network. And it ended up being me doing some work with College Game Day with Dave Revson before he went to the Big 12 Network, and Mel Kiper. And then it went on to be in a syndicated radio show. And then it went on to be in 14 years worldwide on Armed Forces Radio Network, 21 years on the radio, including SB Nation, CBS, and Yahoo Sports Radio, and Sirius XM. Carried my NFL show, which was an hour long, for 7 years on Channel 93. So I've been talking about sports betting on the radio basically since 1999, and before Visa ever thought about putting on a network, and was able to do it because I didn't do the call 1-800 can't lose crap. You know, and
Yeah,
and
for
always
sure.
stuff
I've
that,
heard about those call
yeah,
1-800 phone numbers back in the past. So
yeah,
what a great way into this industry. I love your story. The industry sure has changed from when you started running those papers over to the local body shops, but
yeah.
definitely some good changes here. We've got some great games on the board tonight, Tony. We've got a fantastic NBA game tonight with the Golden State Warriors and the Dallas Mavericks. Golden State looking to finish this off. If they can do it, will be interesting, but I'm pretty sure they can. You got any props or bets in this one for us?
Well, I got a strong position tonight on this game over at docsports.com. And so I'm not going to talk a whole lot about the game other than the fact that I was very surprised how disinterested, Golden State was in the last game.
Absolutely, they were.
And that's, you never know in this industry, who's going to take, like yesterday in Major League Baseball, the Dodgers just took the day off. There's no way the number one offense in Major League Baseball goes up, gets the number 29 defense and runs allowed and gets beat 1-0, especially with an ace on the hill who pitched a hell of a game. But when there's 160 games, no game means that much to one team. No single game, unless you're in late September, early October. But that's kind of what I think Golden State did there, whether they wanted to win it at home or whatever. Yeah. But they just came out with no sense of urgency at all. And I think you'll see a different Golden State team tonight. And I think you'll see a Steph Curry that you're going to see that savvy playoff / NBA Finals veteran bring it to the table tonight, because he can turn it on and off like a light switch. We all know that. And they've got a prop on Curry tonight, over 33.5 points and assists combined at -115. And I think that's probably going to be in play. He's averaging, I think, a little over 26 points in the series and 7 assists in the series. And the one thing he's done too in this series, which boosts that assists a little bit, is he isn't turning the ball over as much. He has not been as careless as he has been. That's been one of his Achilles heels, over the years, is trying to do too much or getting committed to a shot midair and then trying to dish it off because he's covered. And he's done a nice job of being a lot more disciplined, as he's aged and gained experience. And I think that over 33.5 points and assists combined is probably a pretty good prop bet tonight on Steph Curry here. I think he's going to have a big night tonight.
Yeah, I can see him having a big night for sure. And only -115 for the over on that one. Yeah. I absolutely love it. I think, Tony, that is a great way to take that. I'm going to tail you on this one for sure.
Yeah. So. Well, it's I think at home it gives them, renewed enthusiasm. And you always, especially, I've been doing this 30 years now. Whenever you have a good team that has a superstar player or two, obviously Steph is the star of the Golden State Warriors, but they have a lot of other role players that could be stars on other team, but usually off a loss, and kind of an embarrassing loss. And you're able to catch that team at home, the next game, especially in the postseason. Yeah. You just see a different level of individual, especially star power like that, especially in an elimination game when you got them at home. I think you're going to see one of his best efforts tonight.
Well, looking forward to this game for sure. We got some great MLB games on the board as well today. Before we jump into that, I just had a question in MLB. I know in football, we have to look at the teams in the look-ahead situation. You touched on it, that the Dodgers really took the night off. Are they looking ahead to any of these games, do you think? Do you think we see that in baseball like we do in football?
Not so much. No, I don't really. I mean, I guess you'll have a situation. Let's say that right now the Mets and the Yankees are playing well. Yeah. Okay. So let's just use that as a hypothetical example. So let's say they're going to have a big interleague series the upcoming weekend, just for craps and giggles. Let's say it's Memorial Day weekend, or July 4th weekend or something. where it's going to be a national TV game and a lot of spotlight on the series. And let's say the Yankees are playing the Rangers, the series before.
Yeah.
They may be looking ahead a little bit and not, trying to drain their bullpen, leave a starter in extra long, even though he might be getting lit up a little bit. They'll run him into the sixth, even though he's given up 6 hits and 4 runs. They'll run him in. They don't want to deplete their bullpen, get into the bullpen early, getting ready for a big series, a marquee series. So you'll see a little bit of it, but for the most part, you really don't. I don't think there's a lot of look ahead spots. Others might disagree, but they might be looking ahead not to another team, but maybe to the next game when they're in game 2 of a series and they just beat somebody 16-3. But at the end of the day, I don't think you don't find look ahead spots as much as you do, like, let's say, college football. Absolutely. Where Clemson's laying 27 against, Vanderbilt or somebody when they got like a George on deck or something.
Absolutely.
They might not cover a huge number. They're not going to give the game away. Just seems like sometimes in Major League Baseball, when a team decides to lay down and give it away, they just do.
Yeah, no ifs and buts about that. We have seen some blowouts for sure already this year. But let's look at one of these games on the board today. We have the Colorado Rockies taking on Washington here, with Washington being the favorite -115. I'm seeing right now Colorado -105 on the money line. Total has fallen from 8.5 down to 8. You got anything that you're taking in this one?
No, I'm going against that line move. I'm going to take the over 8. How many times do you get Colorado wrapped up in any game where the total's, 7.5 or 8? Never happens, and bear in mind, Colorado just gave up 10 to Pitt in their last game. Pittsburgh, you can't hit a bull in the ass with a handful of rocks, and all of a sudden they put up 10 against Colorado. And obviously Colorado in their own ballpark is always worth a sniff on the over. It's a hitter's ballpark. But if you take a look at the 2 starters here, Marquez for Colorado, 6.14 ERA this year. He's not having a good year, and his WHIP is 1.60. So he's putting hitters in scoring position every time he's up on the hill. And then Corbin, 0-7 this year for Washington, 6.60 ERA, 1.7 on the WHIP. So you're going to have runners on base this entire game, and bear in mind, these 2 teams, and I always look, when you look at Major League Baseball, we're at the point in the season now for all you guys out there wanting, this will be the best free tip or free pick you're going to get all day. Don't look at season-long stats. You want to look at the last 5 games for teams overall, because it becomes cyclical. With having games almost every day, every other day, 3 days in a row. They get into ruts, good ruts and bad ruts. And right now, these teams are both hitting well. As bad as Washington is, their last 5 games, they've lit it up 271 at the plate as a team. And Colorado, who always hits well, batting 256. So, they're going to light it up against these guys early in this game. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I don't know what the over and under is in the first 5, but the over there might be worth a look too.
Yeah, I can pull that up while you're talking here.
Probably 5.
Yeah, let's just see what that's at, because that would be a really interesting way to take this. I know the Rockies are strong against left-handed starters on the road as well. So I'm liking this. It's over 4.5 at -106.
Golden.
Yeah.
Golden. Go sell grandma's bonds. Get on it. Super lock of the millennium.
I love it.
I'm just kidding. And one thing too, the one thing about Washington, despite all their troubles this year, their starting pitching sucks, but their bullpen's been pretty good this year. Matter of fact, you held LA to 0 runs yesterday, and their bullpen the last 5, 2.66 ERA, which is more than respectable. It just depends. To me, it just depends on what Colorado wants to do at the plate. But, giving up 10 to Pitt. They're going to give it up today on the road. And I think that this thing is clearly first 5 innings. I think both Corbin and Marquez are going to get lit up. I think it's going to be, I think look at the line. It's a coin flip game.
Yep.
When you always kind of want to fade, a crappy team off a big win. Obviously, the Dodgers arguably are the best team in baseball. You could argue that with a couple others, but
I wish I could argue and say it was my Toronto Blue Jays, but they have not been playing well as of late.
No, they have not. I faded them a bunch this year. I've really been surprised at the Blue Jays offense this year. I really thought they were going to be one of the more high-octane offenses in Major League Baseball this year, and they have just basically, pardon the pun, failed to step up to the plate at all in that category, and it's killing them right now.
Yeah, it absolutely is. They're not able to get the runs on the board at all. No home run props am I taking on the Toronto Blue Jays right now. It's just not good.
Not at all.
Not good. Okay, Tony, it was an absolute pleasure having you here on the Joe Madden Sports Podcast today. Can you remind everyone where to find you for all of your picks, as well as on social media, and any packages that you have available for sale today would be great to know as well.
Well, I don't try and whore out any picks to anybody, anything, but Doc Sports has been around 51 years. Maury Mosman, who started Docs, was a legend in the industry. His son Wade now, who I know you've spoken to, runs the website and the company. We offer a free $60 to anybody who wants to come over to the website and sample us. We have a real live customer service, no salesman. You're not around that long. It's a respected name in the industry. So if you want to get hooked up and try, we have a big play tonight in the NBA and a solid. I just single out one. I'm a low volume guy. I singled out one best bet day in Major League Baseball. It's a total mismatch. It's a 5-unit top pick as well, but you can get those for free. And I know we're in the millennial age, Joe. You're obviously, I could be your father, unfortunately, but for those of you that want to like free stuff, you can text the word Tony to 29022 on your smartphone. And there's a link there to hook up and open up a brand new account. We'll park $60 in your account for free.
Nice.
And daily packages from any handicapper are $30, whether it's one pick or 10 picks. Don't buy 10 picks. But at the end of the day, just text Tony, the word Tony, to 29022, and a link will pop up on your smartphone, and you can open up an account. No one's going to call you. No one's going to send you junk emails. No one's going to sell you out, anything crazy like that. And you can get a free $60 from Docs and come over and sample us right there at docsports.com.
I love it. It's risk-free for sure, Tony. Well, thank you so much for joining me here today. Again, where can we follow you on social media, Tony?
Oh, that's right. I do daily free pick videos over at YouTube. Just go to Doc Sports in the search bar, and we've got about 27,000 daily followers that follow our free picks over there. And I'm not the only one that puts them up, but I'm on Doc's channel there. And then, of course, on Twitter at TGeorgeSports. So
Awesome.
Come over and visit me. And for everybody listening, if I'm going to go to the sports bar tonight with my buddies and watch a basketball game. We have a big position on it. But I'll be coherent and responsible. I might tweet out a halftime pick in the NBA game tonight at TGeorgeSports over there on Twitter.
Okay, you guys, make sure you go over and follow Tony over there. Tony, again, absolute pleasure having you on. Looking forward to doing it again, hopefully next week.
Yeah, Joe, thanks for having me. I wouldn't mind making it a weekly deal and giving everybody some solid information and some stuff to, make better decisions when it comes to sports betting.
Absolutely. Gotta love it. Thank you, guys. I will be back at the bottom of the hour with another Joe Madden Sports Podcast. Tony, absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.